Giuseppe, thank you very much for this last minute interview possibility.
Thank you.
You're born in Barletta. It's a province called Puglia. It's a real vacation place, I think, right?
It is, yeah.
So what do you like the most about Barletta, except the weather, of course?
Well, I like the history because it's quite old town. So it's a town that has about 2000 years, and there's been like many invasions in the past, like from the Arabic and the Byzantine and the Saracens came to Puglia, stayed for a while and left some architecture, some buildings and some tradition, and so I like that part quite a lot, because while you walk through the city, you have the chances to see like a medieval castle, and you have the chance to see like an historical center, when there are like some Byzantine churches. So that's the beauty of it, I think, and the sea, of course.
And how did you fall in love with the baritone saxophone?
Well, I think it was something that came very slowly somehow in my path, because I started with alto saxophone and then soprano and tenor, but then at a certain point, after I started listening to Harry Carney, Duke Ellington and Jerry Mulligan, Pepe Adams, I fall in love with this instrument, with low frequencies and such a lot, and yeah.
But it was not that your grandfather was playing the baritone saxophone or someone in the family?
No, actually I'm the only musician in the family, so I don't have, let's say, a reference, a music reference. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I think you need a lot of breaths to make a good sound with this huge instrument. How do you do this? I mean, do you need a special breathing technique, and also do you rehearse a lot?
You must rehearse, of course. It's like an athlete. In order to have your skills upgraded, or you have your skills ready, you need to practice, of course. But each instrument has its own way of breathing and blowing, of course. But yeah, I think it depends on the instrument. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell me, very short, what is the most beautiful sound for you ever heard or you ever experienced?
I think recently I was in Lanzarote, in the Canary Island, and somehow I went into a cave that was made by actually a volcanic eruption, and we went down like 30 meters or so, and then a bit more down, till actually you couldn't hear anything and also see any lights, and somehow my senses were figuring out what was going on, and then we stayed completely silent, and that was quite nice sound.
Well, you do a lot of sounds with your instrument. Sometimes it's just short breathing inside, you make like pop pop, something like that. I want to know, what do you prefer to play? Do you prefer to play melodies with your instrument, or do you go also more to experience, to make sounds with your instrument?
Well, I think the instrument it's just it's just an instrument. It's a mediator between you and the sound, the outcome. So I use the instrument as a tool. Actually, can be the saxophone, can be clarinet, or can be any other instruments or flute, but it's mostly the idea that comes into a tube, into an instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And with the baritone, I like to explore sounds in a more general context. I like melodies, but I also like to explore like tiny sounds, and at the same time less idiomatic sounds that can bring your imagination to some other territories that are not necessarily music in the most general sense.
Okay. Can you tell me what beauty is for you? What does it mean? Where is beauty for you? Where do you find beauty? And what is that?
I find beauty in simplicity. When things are in the process, when things are not necessarily completely defined, I think that's beauty. I think it's I think of a pot, a clay pot, or pottery in general. I like when they're more rough. I was in Denmark last week and had the chance to have a very nice dinner in a very beautiful rough clay pot, and it was really nice. And I think that's simplicity. The simplicity is beauty for me.
Okay. Well, you graduated in 2015 at the Prince Claus Conservatorium in Groningen, and you graduated cum laude. I saw that. How did you manage that?
I don't know. I just try to play myself in what I was doing in that moment, and with most sincere way, and try to not be what let's say the school necessarily wants you to be. So just trying to be myself.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah.
And what?
No, I just think that the scores are not really relevant in a way. Yeah.
Okay. What did you learn there the most during your study at the Prince Claus Conservatorium, and what magic did you experience with teachers there, especially the New York teachers?
I learned about different cultures. I learned about understanding behaviors. Because most of the time we try to give quick answer to some certain behaviors, but we don't really pay attention to the background of the people you're also talking to. So so I think that was a good learning for me, and of course meeting such a great person, like great musicians and human beings at the conservatory, like teachers and people. It was also very fulfilling for me. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Like this person.
Like this person. Yeah.
Hi, Michael. Thank you.
We kind of have to go, Giuseppe.
We're so happy to play in this festival, actually.
Hi, I put it on the yeah.
ZJFT Tour.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Marcel is doing such a great job since 32 years. So yeah.
Yeah, you are not a stranger here on that festival. You played here already many times.
Yeah.
How does this feel for you? Are you feeling like a family of the ZJFT Tour?
It feels great, yeah, to be part of this family. I mean, every time I come here, it's always a pleasure because the festival has such a high level of musicians and music, and at the same time, it's sort of low profile. It's like it's contained in we are here in a house, and people, the food is handmade, and the people drive with their own bikes in the nature. So I feel blessed to be here, actually.
Yeah, okay. Well, let us come back a little bit to the New York teachers you experienced on the Prince Claus Conservatorium. I think you also met Matt Wilson and Michael Moore.
Yeah.
I think you play with Michael Moore still in different kind of projects.
Mm-hmm.
But what was your experience during your study with these people? What did you learn there from them?
I learned that you have to find your own answers. Yeah. I think that's because I think a good teacher gives you a hint, doesn't give you necessarily, like the whole solution.
You are also a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you teach, and how do you do that, and who are your students?
My students are people that are passionate about music and not necessarily professional. It depends on the context where I'm teaching. If I'm teaching in a conservatory, of course, there is a different level of interaction and a more technical level perhaps. But if I teach to people that like the music and not at a necessary professional level, I talk more about sound and how you can enjoy the music. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you are also composing music in very different settings. Can you tell me what the most important is for you to have in a composition?
Maybe to know who I'm writing for, and so understand how I can get the best out of someone's personality, music personality. Yeah.
So you have to know the personality group.
That I have to write for, yeah.
Yeah.
The group and the context.
And if you write for yourself, like your recent solo CD, the solo baritone, how did you compose for that project?
It started from sound research on extended techniques, and yeah, we have to go. It started from searching on extended techniques, and from this I started to collect a library of sounds that I could actually then use into compositions. So, and that was like, for instance, multiphonics or slap and overtone singing in the saxophone, or all bunch of different extended techniques, and through there give a different face to the baritone saxophone, so not necessarily idiomatic approach to it. So you should hear the music more with no expectation, let's say. Yeah, no expectation of idiomatic expectation, like
Okay. Well, with your solo project, you will have a concert tomorrow at the BIM House in Amsterdam to present that project.
Yeah.
You are a little bit in the tradition of other projects like from John Ira Bagon or Anthony Braxton. Why do you choose to make a solo album? What is the story behind?
It started a few years ago, where I started to listen to musicians like Steve Lacy or Lee Konitz, and somehow these people inspired me to sort of go a little bit deeper into solo performance. So I started to question myself some like how I could develop a solo program, a solo concept within the baritone saxophone, since it's also not so explored as a solo instrument. So yeah.
And are you happy with the outcome?
You should come to the concert to see. I mean, it was a beautiful process, and it still is. So, yeah.
What kind of meaning have the titles of your songs, of your compositions?
They are connected to some stories that I experienced in my past, and to some places that I stepped into and I experienced 360 degrees. So there are stories. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you are very busy since a while. You play in many projects like your own trio Ava, then All Ellington, the Michael Moore Big Ted, solo now. But you also played with the NDR Big Band in Hamburg.
Yeah.
Last year with Joao Bosco, and now this year with Jim Black and Niels Klein. Can you tell me how it works for you to play in such a big band, and how they got to you? How did you get inside? And what do you have some stories to tell? Maybe something nice that happened for you.
No, it was beautiful. It's still beautiful to be part of this group, and every time they ask me to join the band, it's always a pleasure, because it's constituted by very good musicians, and there is a very nice atmosphere in this band. They are all soloists, but they are also all listeners, so that's not a common quality to find in a big band. So for me, it's challenging, and at the same time is fulfilling for my playing, and at the same time, like, to play with people such as João Bosco. She's such a great human being. It's a very beautiful person. It's a fortune. It's a great opportunity. So, and played such beautiful music and arrangement. Yeah.
And did you have time to have some? Did you share some time with Joao Bosco? How was that for you?
It was really nice. With him and with Kiko Freitas, and it's really nice. You just share stories, and you get to learn about these people and their tradition, learn about new music, about the samba and what that really means there, and so it's beautiful to get an insight of their culture. Yeah.
Well, You live now in Amsterdam. Can you tell me what you like about living in Amsterdam as an Italian? And do you have ambitions to go settle in New York, maybe?
Well, I really like to bike, so I couldn't find a better place than Amsterdam. So yeah, this is what I really like, and I miss when I go in other bigger cities where there is no actual space for bikers. So I enjoy that a lot, and also it's easy to find a spot to park. Because when I was in Italy, you had to drive in places and it takes too much energy, I think. And what I like, of course, is the scene, the improviser, the music scene, and the general improviser scene. It's very nice. It's great to experience this and to see how different generation of musicians are connected to each other in a very smooth way. Like we know they are all very humble and very up to create music. So that's really beautiful. And yeah, at the moment I don't see another place to move to, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you are traveling a lot. You were in Denmark a while ago. You are very active in Holland, but you also play a lot in Germany and in Italy. How does that feel for you? I mean, you're traveling so much. Are you getting paid for traveling or for performing? How is the situation?
Hopefully for both. Yeah. No, it's I like to travel, and I think traveling and exploring new places, it's food for the eyes. Yeah. So you have the chances to get to know new places, new cities, and new cultural behaviors as well, and try their local cuisine. It's also very important for me, and yeah, so that's the nice part. And of course all this you translate it into music at the concert, so that's really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about your private life as a last question? What are you doing beside music? Are you interested in reading poetry or climbing the hills, or what's going on with you in private?
What's going on? Well, I like
And maybe you like cooking.
I do, yeah, I like to make bread. I find it a nice process.
We really have to go.
I think it's time. Yeah, we have a nice concert now
So-
with Michael,
Okay.
and but thank you very much for interviewing me. Yeah.
Thank you too. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.